EloHell knocking Moscow 5 out the group if they beat CLG.
Yeah, a lot has to happen for EloHell to knock Moscow 5 out of the group. Moscow 5 would have to lose their game versus Ocelot World as well as EloHell beating CLG here. But it totally can happen because M5 actually had, you'd almost call it a shaky game against EloHell, or maybe EloHell was just actually
They had a hell of a shaky start against CLG as well, and then that was rough.
So none of these teams, even though looking into this group, it looked like CLG.eu and M5 were going to kind of run away with it. These games have all been really close. So it wouldn't actually surprise me that much if CLG gets a little complacent against EloHell here, and then, you know, Shushe's new team can kind of take over a win.
Yeah, and EloHell looked good against Moscow 5. They had it for a while, and then they just kind of... Moscow 5 just turned the corner, as they always do, and just steamrolled through. Once they get that advantage, they generally completely make it count. CLG, however, have looked unstoppable. So it's a big, big ask right now. We were actually split about what game to cover because, you know, Moscow 5, we think probably could win their game. But, you know, EloHell also have a chance. You know, if they could get that 2-1.
Yeah.
Big, big if. And everybody, I'm not going to lie to you guys at home. You know that CLG are pretty much phenomenal right now. Everybody's saying, you know, damn, these guys have gone to Korea. They went there good. They've come back monsters. They're looking so strong right now.
They've done a lot of practice in Korea, actually. I was talking with some of the CLG members earlier, and they actually said they scrimmed a whole bunch in Korea and actually weren't playing that well. But
they said they lost the first week they were there. They just lost the games.
So they've just been practicing over and over, and they improve really well. It has to do, I think, with the personality of the team. When you talk to them, they all hang out together. They all get along really well. And it's even when they make mistakes.
There's no rage.
Yeah, they give and take criticism the right way, which allows them to really just improve, and that's probably why they're so strong right now.
Yeah, and you know, CLG, let's not beat around the bush. This team took a long time to get together.
Yeah.
They went through many iterations. Obviously, we know that Snoopy and Wicked came from SK, and then they went through Absolute Legends, and then that became CLG. Crepo sort of came out of nowhere as the support. I mean, Froggen, for me, I have no idea where he came from. He just came out of the blue, and he's become God in the middle. He is just, I mean, what, 14, 3, 12 or something in the last game. Absolutely crazy stats. And Yellow Pete down that bottom lane. It's been outstanding. He's the silent assassin of CLG. He just sits there. Like the last game, the start there on Ezreal, it went 3-0 within like 10 minutes.
Killed Gangplank 5 times.
Yeah, no probs.
Eventually, they weren't even killing Gangplank because it was just more valuable to hit the tower at one point in that game. So.
I'm just going to farm minions. You're worth nothing to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, they have looked so strong. And it's you know, credit to them. They've put the work in. I'm going to bring up Kiev here. They should have been in Kiev. For me, they should have been in Kiev. I know it was there was a whole situation with Absolute Legends. They'd left Absolute Legends. They'd become CLG. They had to prove. No, actually, tell a lie. They left somebody else and became Absolute Legends.
It was a strange mix.
Oh,
of
I don't know. There was all sorts going on.
Actually, were, but it's just a matter of sponsorship and not having the rights to go to Kiev.
That's it. Yeah.
And then because they didn't make it to Kiev, they couldn't go to Hanover either. So they've really been one of these top teams for a while. We just haven't gotten to see them in many.
They've never had the chance. Yeah. I mean, and it would have rewritten the history books for League of Legends if they had done it, because they are now 4-0 against Moscow 5 on LAN. That's
crazy.
That's huge. Nobody's anywhere near that.
Nobody's
ever beat Moscow 5 on LAN. They are 4-0 against Moscow 5 on LAN. You know, they're a big team. Team Solar Mid out there are the only other team that really have basically said CLG.eu are our rivals.
Is TSM the only other team to ever even take a game off of Moscow 5
Yes, they were before. They were before CBIT, or after CBIT rather. Which was in the finals in Kiev. Nobody took a game off them in CBIT.
Right, yeah.
CLG NA got close, but nobody actually did it.
4 for CLG, 1 for the rest of the world.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
And that's why those Korean teams out there, they want a piece of them. They want a piece of the action. As at the moment, it seems like they're getting the piece of the real action because they've got CLG.eu gone 3-0 in their group, and now they're up against World Elite in that group. That's a tasty game that I'm looking forward to watching. Awesome. But right here, we're going to have CLG versus EloHell. EloHell coming into this one, a big Polish favorite. It'd be lovely to get a Polish team in any of the matches tomorrow.
So yeah, I'm actually really surprised when we saw that EloHell versus M5 game. I just could not believe how well EloHell was playing. Shushe, I didn't know anything about this team. It was just like, oh, it's that team with Shushe. But apparently they're actually really, really strong. We saw how well they did against Moscow 5. I'm expecting actually a Gragas ban here. And the one thing about this game actually is, despite how this group does look like it's going to go to CLG and M5, we could still actually see EloHell and
Yeah.
Ocelot World Advance, because just the way these last 2 games shake out, every team could either make it or be eliminated.
Yeah, it could be a bit of a strange situation. It
Yeah.
will go down to time, I believe. Time and who beat who. I don't know. The admins,
There's
they have
a
it
lot
all
of
sorted.
strange
There's a lot of things that could
There
happen.
Could be
yeah.
a huge mess. We could see.
Huge mess for the admins. Not for us, though. It's all good. We could just sort of predict what's happened. But there's Shushay on your camera. That is EloHell. They've come here with a lot of support. You know, they seem to be having a really good time about it as well. I think they qualified through the Polish Open qualifier, was it? I'm not entirely sure.
I'd have to ask you on that one.
I only did one of the qualifiers.
Okay.
I was away for the second online qualifier. I was away on business, actual normal work business, not casting business. When I say, oh, I'm away on business, I'm casting. Yeah. I'm having fun because it's awesome. But you know, I get to come and do these fantastic games in the middle of Poland in Warsaw in 34 degrees or something like that.
Aside from the heat, this place has been amazing.
It has.
This venue is crazy.
Well, I turned up late this morning. I had a good sleep. When I say turn up late, the event didn't start till 11. Yeah. So I thought, right, you know what? I'm not even going to get there because I'm not casting the first game. I got here about 10:30. I couldn't get near the place because it was chock-a-block with fans outside. And then, just as I was creeping my way through the crowds, I heard the Riot guys go, I'm going to give out NASA skins. I was like, no. Everybody piled forward. I was just like, just got completely swamped and I had to sort of squeeze through. And then the security are like, who are you? You're not coming in. I was like, no, I am. I'm just going through.
This whole place filled up in about 2 minutes as soon as I
it
opened
did,
the door.
yeah. As soon
And
there was hundreds of people still outside as well trying to get in.
There's actually been a whole 700 people watching outside the theater on the
big screen that's outside. Yeah. If you don't know, we're in Poland. It's basically a great big cinema screen, cinema complex, multi-complex, I guess it is. And yeah, it has been fantastic. However, we are going into the picks and bans. You don't want to hear about what we're doing. You want to hear about what's going on in this match. Now, Shen and Gragas being banned out. Poor old Gragas. Shushay, he's not getting a look in.
Yeah, so Shen has actually been picked or banned in all but 2 games this entire tournament, and he's actually split games thus far. So super feared, but actually, questionable in effectiveness.
Yeah, because CLG allowed him to be played in the first game.
Yeah,
I believe.
So CLG, surprisingly, is actually really good playing against Shen.
Yeah.
I suppose they just going with actually fairly general bans. Normally CLG leaves the general picks because they know how to counter against this. The only real target ban there is against Shushay's Gragas, unfortunately. I really wanted to see that one, but that's just that has been a ban every single game against EloHell. No one wants Shushay to get his hands on that guy.
And immediately the insta-lock in Alistair. This seems to be a recurring thing for CLG. Every game they've started so far has been Alistair insta-locked. And they've also been really lucky with this coin flip because they've been on the blue side every time.
Yeah, the blue side, at least for CLG, they really love having it. They like getting access to those double golems early, and they like having first pick, first ban, so they can get things like Alistair with their first pick.
Yeah, so interesting that Aurelia got banned out by EloHell. I don't remember the last time I saw Wicked playing at Aurelia on that top lane.
Yeah, Wicked was trying to give me a spiel earlier, telling me how Aurelia was underpowered.
Oh, yeah, we'll go for that one.
Yeah, so he hasn't actually been playing it that much, so it is a bit of a surprising ban, as you say.
It is a very surprising ban, but Tariq and Maokai coming out, which is not a bad pick, but there it is again, Rumble for CLG, third game running.
That is what Wicked has, selected as the overpowered thing for this
You said
tournament.
it yourself as well last night. You said, I'm surprised nobody's been playing Rumble. Right. He's overpowered.
I was saying Rumble's super strong.
He gets nerfed in the next patch.
He will be having nerfs coming in the next patch back on the live servers, but we're of course on the Jace patch, so the Rumble nerfs have not even, been close to coming out. And Wicked is really the only one this tournament to have really realized how strong he is. And you can tell that Wicked is playing Rumble for his power, not so much that he's a really good Rumble player. Because even watching Wicked now, he's still a little bit clunky on Rumble. He's not placing his ultimates in the perfect places, but he's pretty much just realizing how strong Flamespitter is and just running straight at people over and over again. And
possibly we're seeing the next team that could top the group having Ezreal again for the second game running, which we saw with Curse this morning. People seem to like Ezreal again.
Yeah, it used to always be, at least in the last few tournaments, it was all about Graves, Corki, and Kog'Maw. But now we have kind of another AD carry stepping up a little bit, and it's definitely been Ezreal so far. So elusive. And we've seen a lot of stuff like Malphite and Jax, who can really just get on an AD carry, stick with them, and shut them down. But Ezreal's the best at escaping from those scenarios, which might be one of the reasons he's seeing more play.
So we're getting Kale possibly coming out here. Did actually get banned out, I think, early on today.
Yeah.
We haven't actually seen him in that top lane at all. Definitely an interesting choice against Rumble. He's going to have that range advantage this time. May actually be able to hold his own a little bit more.
Looks like they're going to go away
they've
from
changed
Kale. That was going to be a good
That could have been a
too.
good. That could have been a good lane. But Lee Sin on top lane. That's. I'm not sure about how he's going to handle it with Rumble.
Yeah. So
unless they switch to Maokai top lane.
They could switch to Maokai.
That's old school. Chu8, wasn't it? He used to do that.
Chu8 used to do it in mid or top lane.
Yeah.
The nice thing about that is, against someone who's spamming spells, which would be Rumble, Maokai's passive, which gives him like a pretty large percentage heal based on how many spell casts have been happening in the area, would work pretty well for Maokai, to be honest. If they decide to go kind of crazy with something like that, it would not actually be the worst matchup.
So Leona possibly going to come out once again from Crepo here. I think every game. What did he have in the last one? Oh, you see now I've put myself. I can't even remember.
Put us both in a little,
yeah, I can't remember.
there.
We were paying attention, honestly. I was tweeting everything out about it.
Either way, that's an incredibly strong and potent initiation there for CLG. Just comboing the Leona ultimate with the Alistar, who can hop in right afterwards. So if either Leona or Alistar land their first CC, they just
there
go
it is
on
again.
crush.
There it is again.
Karthus, man.
Wow, so Karthus comes out again, and people have been saying now why they're not banning it. It's like there's only so much you can ban against Froggen. Anivia is an insta-ban, and if you do go for Karthus, then you're going to leave, well, possibly, you know, Aurelia was banned, so they could have gone that way. Urgot, I agree with that one. I think Urgot should have been banned out there. He's still very strong.
It's really hard to ban against CLG.eu is what we're finding. They have
so many
stable champions. And I just actually did get word they had Alistar in the last game, and that was Crepo playing it because they had Malphite in the jungle. So they have picked Alistar pretty much every game. Another interesting thing, though, is we've seen a lot of Karthus bans, but CLG.eu is the only team yet to actually have Karthus in a game. So they've won all 2 games with Karthus and Rumble, and, you know, going to go for 3 for 3 here.
But check that last pick.
Which was, I guess,
Fiddle in the middle.
Fiddlesticks, man.
Fiddle in the middle on Shushay. So this could be an interesting one.
EloHell's pulling out all the stops.
So okay, Fiddlesticks versus Karthus. Let's talk this one through.
All right, so Fiddlesticks versus Karthus. I actually think Fiddlesticks is almost an unstoppable mid laner if he doesn't get ganked. The fact that if he just levels up Drain and he jumps into someone's range and just starts draining them, it's so much healing and so much damage that the other guy just pretty much has to walk away, as well as Froggen not having anything to interrupt it with. The way that that comes in as a flaw is Alistar can interrupt the drain, and Alistar loves to gank early and often. So if he can ward around and be aggressive when Snoopy's not there to gank him, then he's going to be really successful, at least in the lane. So that's a pretty strong pick against Karthus. I don't think he's going to be able to get too aggressive, though, because Snoopy's such a good ganker on Alistar.
But I mean, how is that ultimate even going to come into effect late game? Because the whole point of Fiddle's ultimate is you are off somewhere. So that's effectively putting your team under a 4v5 situation, which in itself is instantly dangerous, because that's a horrible team to go 4v5 against. So he has to be off at the side, and they're going to be well aware of that situation as well.
And especially with how patient CLG is as a team, a lot of times Fiddlesticks can punish impatience.
You get baited into it.
Into a fight, and then he comes flying in from the side. But against CLG, I don't really see them falling for that. So it's going to be really, really tricky for Shushay to actually get ultimates off in team fights.
So here we go. We are live and underway. And if you've just joined us, CLG are 2-0 after beating Moscow 5 pretty convincingly, it has to be said. There was no two-way about that one. They are in the blue team on the bottom left-hand corner, and EloHell, who are 1-1 in the group, are on the red side. And there they are. And as you can see, Shushay on Fiddlesticks. I have no idea how easy it's going to be on Fiddlesticks. It's a champion that I've not seen in the mid lane for a hell of a long time in tournament, if ever at all.
The last time I saw him in a tournament was actually Voyboy playing Fiddlesticks against a top lane Vladimir, because you could drain through the blood pool. And he won the lane with it, but then just completely disintegrated as the rest of the game went on. He just couldn't land ultimates. So we'll see if Shushay has something up his sleeve that lets it become viable here.
Okay, so they're setting up in the tri-bush. I will go through the lanes quickly. It's going to be Kubon in the top lane on Lee Sin, which is going to be an interesting one straight away. That's going to be against Wicked for CLG. He's on Rumble yet again. A very strong top lane combo, that one. And Wicked just has been unbeatable in that top lane so far to date. In the middle, it's going to be Froggen on Karthus. He is going to be against Shushay on Fiddlesticks, who we just talked about. Possible invade coming on here from EloHell. So I'm not going to go too far into this one. The Q just missing there. The lay waste actually landing across them. But EloHell have gone for a full invade, and they are going to go for the blue. Now you can see immediately, I was about to say, Lee Sin, Ezreal down the bottom there is immediately making positions and saying, okay, check this out. We think they got the full positional advantage here. They've actually really warded up their own blue as well.
This is really cute, actually. Yes, they warded their own blue, so they know if Alistair wants to go in there to steal, but also they've warded CLG's blue as well, and then went and hit in that triangle brush. What they were hoping to happen was they hope Snoopy comes through and tries to take his blue, but it looks like Snoopy is content to just going the other way, so they're all going to waste their time in that brush. Smart, like a cute, tricky play, hoping for a payoff, not going to happen.
Yeah, we seem to have gone nuclear in the game sounds somewhere along the line. I'm not sure what's happened there, but I just thought, wow, they seem pretty loud. I don't think it's in-game. I think it may well be the sound people having a little bit of fun, but I'm sure, here we go. Alistair's actually gone for blue here, and you can see Graves is on it. If you could go to the blue at the moment,
nice. And
you can see he did manage to get in and interrupt in. Hosan managed to interrupt Snoopy, so Snoopy's lost half his health there and has been interrupted, so he hasn't gone for it. Has he still got it? He's still got the smite, though.
Yeah, that's still really good for EloHell. So the fact that they warded both blue buffs, even though they didn't get the kill at CLG's blue, when they saw Snoopy going for theirs, they were very easily able to disrupt it with that Graves. And then Maokai has the only blow on the map and the first level too. So Alistair also taking a whole bunch of Crepo's time here, getting that red buff, getting set pretty far behind there by the early warding and aggression from EloHell.
Yeah, so how big of a deal with that the Dark Wind, play on Froggen? Because it's pretty strong from level 1 onwards.
I'm feeling like the Dark Wind is a strange level 1 choice. I would have expected him to start with Drain, but he's actually went Terrify and Dark Wind, so he's not got any points in his Drain yet. He's happy just kind of throwing whatever it is Fiddle throws at minions there for the last hits.
Because it got buffed against minions, didn't it?
It did. It does 50% more damage to minions, but that was mainly a jungling buff. It looks like he's just kind of pushing the wave / farming with it. Yet to see what his plans are here on Fiddlesticks as Snoopy looks for the gank.
Snoopy is just waiting in the wings. He is going to come round, so he's going to go onto Shushay. Shushay is just going to, tried to juke it. Did still get headbutted. He's going to be able to walk away from this one. Tried to juke it as best he could, and I think he actually wanted to fear Snoopy as soon as he was coming in there, but instead had to flash out of it.
Yeah, Snoopy with the flash pulverize there. No, it wasn't even a flash pulverize. Snoopy just randomly walked in and pulverized. Just, here comes the gank. No, Maokai also not working. I want to see how this Fiddlesticks lane progresses, because I'm still a little confused at what his strategy is. He now has 2 points in his fear. The only scaling point of that fear is the duration, so they might just be using it to try and set up ganks on Karthus via Maokai. But aside from that, I'm not entirely sure what Shushay has planned.
Yeah, at the moment, though, it looks like Wicked is winning out that top lane pretty well against Lee Sin. Lee Sin appears to be struggling. He's definitely lost a bunch of health. Let's have a look at the CS between the two, 12 to 20. So Lee Sin actually way ahead in terms of CS at the moment. But you'd expect that early level Lee Sin is very strong.
Yeah. Rumble also doesn't scale up that well until he's level 5 or 6 or 7. He needs to get multiple points in Flame Spitter before it starts doing fairly respectable damage. And then Lee Sin also hits his peak as we see a big engagement coming down here, going right onto Snoopy.
Yeah, diving onto Snoopy as Twisted Advance goes in there. Snoopy actually headbutts Kubon in towards Wicked. Wicked surely going to get first blood onto Kubon. No! Kubon just about survives. Oh, tried to flash away. Wicked followed through, managed to get the kill, but first blood actually went down. And Snoopy now, Shushay also going to go down to Froggen as well. Would you believe it? It's happening all across the map straight away. Check that bottom lane quick, Garen, because there might be more kills coming.
Luckily, that's all we're going to see for now, as we can catch our breath a little bit. Interesting fight in the middle there. He tried to drain tank through Karthus, but the exhaust hit and his damage actually went down, so he just wasn't healing up enough. Also, he had only 1 point in each of his damage skills and 2 points in Terrify. So that Fiddlesticks lane, what should get its advantage just from like being able to drain tank or trade from Karthus, has already fallen behind. I fear for EloHell's life now that Froggen got a 1v1 kill in middle with Karthus.
Yeah, very much so. Now he seems to have that advantage. Boots mobility coming out again for Snoopy. First item goes straight down to that bottom lane. Surely going to get onto Grom. Good stun there from Tarek there. Just having to dazzle him as soon as he came in. Bought the time. He knew he wanted to go for his AD. Didn't want to deal with the support, so very much bought the time for them. 2-1 still in terms of kills. And the gold still very even. We are in the only in the early phases, though, and Froggen, again, taking the Wraiths, just like he mentioned against Alex Hitch.
Karth is so good at taking the Wraiths, just those layways, being able to take it from pretty much anywhere. And I want to highlight again, Wicked rushing those Sorcerer shoes, so he is all about getting early magic penetration on Rumble, just trying to roll over people with his base damage. Lee Sin, of course, has 54 magic resist, so he has very heavy runes and masteries in that. So it's really just Wicked not caring how much magic resistance lane opponent has and just going for as much magic pen as he can.
Yeah, and Shushay getting caught out again there, losing half his health as soon as he returned back to lane. Like you mentioned with Wicked, I guess we're going to see Haunting Guys coming next then. That seems to be the way it's going. Obviously, you do normally build towards what you're up against, and as it is, he may switch to some sort of armor, but I don't think Lee Sin's causing him too many problems in that top lane. You can see he's having to shield up again there, just misses the Q. He's no diamond procs. He doesn't land it like a headshot. No. And at the moment, he's just going to get forced against the tower. And this is what you called about. Rumble has suddenly got a lot stronger, and as soon as we start moving up the levels.
And another thing about this Rumble build, CLG actually doesn't build Will of the Ancients hardly ever. I was asking them why, and they both, Froggen and Wicked, like getting their individual just straight up damage, and they don't care that much about the spell vamp. So I'm not expecting, even though they have a double AP composition in Karthus and Rumble, they're probably not going to complete a Will of the Ancients.
Indeed. So at the moment, you see this bottom lane. How is it comparing in terms of farm between this bottom lane? 49 to 34, so big advantage to Yellow Pete already garnered. That's a pretty huge advantage. 15 CS, just 7 minutes gone.
I think this is a bit of two things. Yellow Pete has been doing an exceptional job getting those last hits, but Alistair and Snoopy also spent a lot of attention in the bottom lane. So Graves and Tarek have had to play back and have had to just give up creeps because they knew Alistair was there ready and waiting to gank him. You know, sometimes just being near the lane is enough to give your lane an advantage. As a level 4 Oracles on Snoopy just comes cruising down to clear out more wards and create more advantage for his bottom lane.
That's crazy. Level 4 Oracles. That's a very, very early Oracles there. I'll tell you what, their time in career has certainly given them a few new tricks in their book. Despite the fact they're still very cautious. It is a very dangerous Oracles, but we've seen him doing it already. But level 4, he's not going to have that ulti to save himself.
Exactly, and if I was EloHell right now, they've tried some gamuts already this game with those blue invades. The next gamut would be trying to kill Snoopy before he gets to level 6, because if they can take down that Oracles and not let him build advantage, he's dumped so much of that really important early gold into it. They take it down, he's going to fall way far behind. So Maokai also having an Oracles, but being level 6, if he can catch out Snoopy, they can try to make something happen.
And there is Snoopy just down there. He's only on half health as well, still level 5. Being tracked actually by Maokai. Meanwhile, Kubon get the ultimate going off on him, but from Wicked, surely going to catch him. Does manage to get the slow. There's the ignite. Will the Karthus ult follow through? The ping's gone down. I think it might be enough to get him. Now surely the Karthus ult. He's not using the ult. Wow, Froggen, what are you doing? The communication is not there.
So yeah, it's too late at this point because he's spell vamped up enough off of creeps that the ult.
Oh, that's why.
And there's a dragon going down as well.
There's
and
the
he's
ultimate.
saving it for that moment, and it looks like they're going to clean up a team fight.
Yeah, so they'd rather pick up a double kill there.
Man.
Could well be a triple. Crepo's going to try and get the stun on towards Shushay. The rest of the team are not following. Graves, meanwhile, down the bottom, is going to get caught out. Hosan in trouble. Froggen's going to continue to follow him. 4-1s currently. There's the Wall of Pain. There's the slow. There's the Defile. Lay Waste will just finish it off. One more down, and Froggen picks up yet another kill, and that is why he was delayed.
Yeah, feel a little foolish there, being like, why is he not using his ultimate? Oh, because they're winning the game. Okay, that makes sense. And they just clean up the dragon fight there. I think they got the dragon as well as 3 kills in that engagement, so smart hold of the ultimate, not what I was expecting.
No, not what I was expecting either. Yellow Pete picked up 2 kills out of that as well, so now suddenly very strong. Look at the goal difference between them, 1,941 to 3,400. That is a huge advantage for Ezreal right now. 5-1 up in kills, and really they are going to have a lot to buy, really. So he's got 1,900, could go back. And from an Ezreal point of view, would you go Trinities normally? I mean, everybody generally does these days, but he's got a big advantage. Wouldn't you just get tempted to go for that BF sword?
Yeah, we actually saw last game, the Ezreal, I think it was last game, went for a Bloodthirster very early on when they were winning the lane. So you actually have the choice to go pretty much whatever style you want on Ezreal. If you go with the Trinity Force, it's more about kind of open field fighting and chasing people down, hoping to get those phage procs. But if you're more looking to just kind of bully the lane or just push and have sustain, you want to go with an early Bloodthirster. Then again, you can also just go for straight up damage and do an Infinity Edge. So Ezreal clearly does have the most choices of the AD carries.
And there's Wicked with his ulti once again, going for Kubon. Does manage to get the slowdown on him, but Kubon is not going to pull back into this one. Wow, look at the damage. The Ignite's running. The health pot will just about save him, though. Wicked instead can choose to take the turret. Now he's going to surely finish him off. Kubon trying to get the ulti kick on the turret, but he flashes out of that turret damage, backs away. The Ignite is not going to be anywhere near for enough damage. Meanwhile, they're going to dive down the bottom here. It is going to be Hosan, surely the target. Veggie, meanwhile, is taking a lot of damage. Remember, he did lose that Oracle early on and missed that one in that fight early on. They lost out on that Oracle. Will Crepo go for another stun? Whoa! There's just 2 man in a three-sided team. That was easy.
And the thing is, all he has on Ezreal is double Thorns, has not upgraded his boots.
The ultimate Fiddle ultimate going on towards Froggen there. Will it be enough? No, because the exhaust went down. That was beautiful play from Froggen there, just completely cutting that damage.
So really good exhaust there by Froggen. That's why a lot of people bring exhaust on Karthus instead of Ignite. So a lot of times with your AP middles, as we see Veggie getting caught out by Snoopy, this could be real bad.
Froggen can get a double kill here. He's going to go around for Veggie instead. He's had to flash away from that turret. Oh, the ultimate from Graves nearly finished him off. Veggie's going to come around. Can Veggie now get finished off with the layways? No, the headbutt pulverized misses. Oh, the pulverized misses from Snoopy. I don't believe it. Wow, by the skin of your teeth. Now Froggen needs to be careful. He is very low on hit points. You can see the dash forward and the buckshot.
It's been a long day for Snoopy right there.
Yeah, it has been
a
long
day filled with victory, but still, that's a sign of fatigue there, a bit of a misplay. I want to actually just touch on that one point again with Karthus, the great exhaust he had on Shusha when he ulted in. Most Karthuses in competitive you see will bring exhaust, whereas other AP carriers will bring Ignite. And I think the reason for that is Karthus sits so far back with most of his spells, those layways being 850, 900 range, you don't actually get in range to go aggressive with Ignite as Wicked just crushing down onto Lee Sin. So you bring the exhaust to prevent people from closing to you is pretty much the end of that sentence.
Yeah, so Kubon goes down, tower will follow. And meanwhile, there is a 3-man push down that bottom lane. Shusha has just picked up the blue buff. It's going to walk into the tri-bush, but CLG are not going to push for this one. They could go around. I'll tell you what, it will actually catch Shusha by surprise.
Yeah, this could be bad.
Oh, that ward goes in there. They do manage to get the stun onto Shusha. Immediately, Leon ulti follows, and Yellow Pete absolutely drops Shusha in seconds. Now they could go on towards Grom on that turret. Remember, they are going to have the Karthus ulti to join them. Requiem is available.
Yeah, this
Grom
is going to be easy.
Certainly going to go for him. Yeah, and like you say, it would be easy. Healing as much as he can. Doesn't matter. They can tank their way through that turret damage. No problem whatsoever.
And that was that CC chain of the Leona Alistair. If either one of them lands their stun, it's so easy to chain the next one. And it just means they had 4 seconds to absolutely obliterate Shusha, and this is getting out of hand pretty fast.
Yeah, the snowball is definitely starting to happen here. CLG, as predicted, they are proving to be way stronger than anyone else, and now Veggie uses a twisted advance to try and save himself, but it is all too little too late there, and Froggen picks himself up another kill pretty much for free there, with no one even debating that one. And he's still got that Requiem available should they engage. They are going to dive on the middle turret. You can see down the bottom there, Yellow Pete was pushing. Shusha is going to try and come in and force him away from the turret. They don't have the minions support in there just yet, so they will back away from this one. But Wicked is dominating his top lane. I mean, when it came to a Lee Sin, yeah, you could stack the magic resist, but surely they needed something else to deal with it. They're going to dive into Shusha here. It's actually only Crepo and Snoopy. Yellow Pete is just to the right-hand side there, so Yellow Pete should come across. There's the ultimate. Oh, and he actually just dodged out of the way of it. Doesn't matter. He can't drain through Yellow Pete's damage. 5-0-0 Yellow Pete, and he did go for that BF sword, by the way.
Yeah, so he said Wicked is winning that top lane, which I don't disagree with you. He is crushing it, but they're also winning pretty much everywhere else, too.
Yeah.
So,
which is not a good sign.
Straight just great play all around from them. Rod of 8 is completed on Karthus. Wicked with that haunting, guys. So yeah, we called it going straight up Magic Pen. And just, yeah, Lee Sin cannot get enough defenses to deal with that rumble damage. Something's got to give here.
Absolutely, 11-1. What is going to give? I mean, it's the only thing given so far is going to be Veggie, because he's caught in the middle of a wall of pain and a wall of death from Wicked and Froggen. They are both absolutely crushing right now. 4-0-2 for Froggen, 5-0-0 for Yellow Pete, and 2-0-2 for Wicked. He's just dominated that top lane. They're going to take the middle turret. That's going to go down to that siege minion, and now they're going to work their way down. Dragon is due any moment now. 13 minutes. I can't see what the timer is on that screen. It's too small. There it is. Just popped.
Awesome. Dragon's up right now, and it looks like Wicked's just going to go start it by himself, overheating on it, no problem. Everyone on EloHell is so terrified of all of CLG.eu right now, and for good reason. They have Oracle's control. They have all of EloHell's wards pretty much down on the map, and just even about 5 minutes ago, we saw EloHell lose a 2v3 to Leona and Ezreal. So potentially checking Dragon into 5 men, not a good idea for EloHell. They just concede that Dragon.
Yeah, they did not want to get involved in that one. 12-1 down, 3-0 turrets. And there you hear the leveling up
Ezreal
of Yellow Pete.
leveling up a little bit.
So, ladies and gentlemen, if you do have that Ezreal skin and you level up, everyone spectating you will know.
Only on this build has actually since been fixed as Xuxe gets caught again by the rest of the team, and they are just crushing the game right now, grouping up as 5 right here and just pushing down middle. Not much EloHell can do right now other than just hope CLG makes some sort of massive misplay.
Yeah, they have to do an enormous throw. Right now, I think they're just going to continue pushing. Lee Sin's still on that top lane, so they're technically 3v5 right now on this turret. So there's no reason why it would stop them actually pushing through and possibly finishing a pre-20-minute game, which I don't think I've seen for quite a while in tournament play. Not online to offline play. I've seen a few online plays where some tournaments have
and here they go.
Turn. Here we go. Veggie's going to get dived on. Veggie with the Oracle. He's dead. That Frog and ulti will finish him off. There goes Grom. Pops Kubon, meanwhile, headbutted in towards the pack. Husan is going to go down now. Xuxe's the target.
Right into exhaust.
With the ulti. Bang, double kill. Froggen picks up another. There's another for Rumble. That is an ace. Finally, he does manage to get that 1 kill. Lee Sin had come back. They don't have the minions. Crepo is going to go down to the tower, and actually Xuxe picked up the kill as well. Would you believe? Instead, they're farming minions past the tower. They know they're going to go back. Yellow Pete will pick up the tower and the inhibitor before they come back. I say before they come back, they're going to come back very soon. Yeah,
the death timer is not very long here at 17 minutes, so it does not look like CLG is going to be able to finish it quite yet. CLG normally has a very, very conservative play style, but that's mainly because they don't want to engage fights that they don't have a very, very high chance of winning. But since they are so far ahead, they have no qualms about just diving into a tower when they have these huge, huge level and gold advantages. And they're definitely going to be trying to make this game end very soon. As a great combo of Ezreal and Karthus comes in to clean up Veggie, his 5th death.
Yeah, that was beautifully timed, and they were like, you know what, we can kill him. I've got an ulti. I'm just going to bam in your face, and Froggen picks up another 7-0-6 Froggen now, 7-0-4 Ezreal. Oh, good lord, these stats are crazy. 4-1-4. Now, obviously, Wicked died in that last fight. 1-1-10 for the jungler. Now, Snoopy did. Was it in that last fight he died? I'm not too sure, and lost the Oracle, but he's bought it again.
He actually died very, very early on in the game, actually, before he bought his first Oracles. He died in that first fight up in the top lane with Maokai, and since then, when he got that level 4 Oracles, he has held on to it for the rest of the game, and that's just contributed to their complete domination here as this goes forward. And these are really the kind of games that when people look at KDA stats at the end of the tournament, they go, wow, they're playing really well.
What are they doing? EloHell are well out of the picture here. The inhibitor's almost certainly going to get pushed, and they can just pile through. Now they're all suddenly recalled in. They're like, damn, we're completely caught out of position. All 3 of them were down there, and now they're just going to catch him in a complete split position. Veggie trying to use his ulti to try and save himself. Leona dives in there. Veggie goes down very quickly. Froggen now absolutely demolishing through here. Meanwhile, the inhibitor is going to go down. 20-0-3 right now. They're just going to take the inhibitor down. You can see Hosan trying his best to dodge out of this one. CLG is going to continue pushing on through. Will they just switch up to that inner turret? I think that would be
the they're just going up to the top lane with all those creeps. And yeah, it's really hard for EloHell to just mentally stay in the game when you're getting beat this badly this early. It's tough to just hope that CLG makes a mistake, but they can't capitalize on CLG mistakes if they're not grouped up themselves. So they do have to really just stay together here and hope they can somehow withstand this next CLG dive, because I'm pretty sure it's coming.
And pretty sure it's coming as well. Wicked just tries to get himself heated up, as it were, get himself in the zone. He's actually completely cold at the moment. You need to get that a little bit more damage on him. And Kubon, there you go. Look at Crepo, ready and waiting to get that stun
Xuxe's trying to get this ult coming up over the wall. The exhausts are all actually down for CLG, so Xuxe could potentially get a fairly good ultimate off if they do blindly dive in front of them. But even with all that, I feel like CLG is so far ahead that they could eat a full fiddle ult and still probably win the fight.
And they've got exhaust. Actually, exhaust is not available at the moment. There's nobody got exhaust available, so he's going to get that full ulti off, like you say, but they're trying to bait it out there. And now they're going to dive in. Veggie,
this is not good.
That's the tragedy that happens when you Maokai. You will get caught in there. There's the Fiddle ultimate. They are getting a lot of damage down. Crepo manages to get dropped, but that is a quick double kill there from Shushay. Shushay gonna drop down as well. Oh, can the last proc? Yes, he can. The last bounce
Dark
to get through. Gets the triple kill as well. Very nice from Shushay. It's a little bit of saving grace, but the double kill nevertheless from Wicked came out, and well, they're just going to pile on through. Super Minions back onto the base turret. Just Snoopy and Froggen. They're not going to do a great deal to this turret. In fact, they may not even get it down, but nevertheless, they're just going to eat it alive and continue on. 10-0-8 on Froggen.
You know what, though? That full Fiddle channel into all of CLG kind of wrecked them. If they were not up by 15,000 gold, that would have been completely devastating. Really just goes to show how important it is to exhaust Fiddlesticks when he jumps in, because if you let him have those full channels, you're going to get wrecked.
Absolutely. Snoopy's got to be careful. Froggen might get caught out here. Remember, he's on that absolute perfect score so far. Hosan is just slowly closing the gap. He's just dodging in and out. Not a single one hit so far, but Froggen has got the wall of paint to come up. And now Snoopy's going to come around. There's the headbutt.
He's got his quick drop. He's going.
He's going to dive for it. Surely has got the ultimate. He gets the exhaust down. There's one layways. There's another. Oh my God, he's so low. And now Rumble is going to come up. Rumble could pick up a triple kill here. He's going to come around the backside of them. Grom is going to try and... Oh, they were trying to recall, but here comes Wicked. Just needs to put the ultimate across. He's going to surely catch Grom down. Hosan now going to get Leona coming in. Crepo comes around. There's the sun. They see him, realize Shushay's in there. That's going to be Hosan. Oh, Froggen survived just about. Zonya's hourglass used by Shushay just to delay the inevitable. And a triple kill, as I said, for Wicked. Beautiful play.
Froggen just couldn't resist going back in there for the last touch of damage. Almost died to Graves. That would have been a rather unfortunate way to fall, as we see YellowPeak just training down Veggie. Great shift over the wall to try to finish him off, and he just misses the last Mystic shot.
Oh.
And misses by a lot with his ult.
Baited completely on that one, and Veggie's going to walk away. Doesn't matter, they're pushing on towards the inhibitor. Veggie will walk back, and that's going to be surely then the second inhibitor turret going down to Crepo, I believe it will be. Wicked is also going to push on towards that inhibitor. Here comes the Super Minions, and finally the rest of the team. Froggen is a long way off, though. There is going to be a four-man push at the moment. They're going to be careful that they don't get caught out by that full ultimate from Fiddlesticks like they did before.
Luckily, they do have that exhaust up this time, though, so if they do get engaged on, YellowPeak will put it down, and here comes the last, probably final fight. Shushay not even able to get his ult channel off, so that's just a quick 2 kills for CLG, and now, they're pushing down on those Nexus towers.
Yeah, the Nexus turrets will drop surely. Crepo taking a little bit of tank damage at the moment. Can they catch anyone? Shushay actually getting tanked off on the fountain there. There goes one Nexus turret. They are going to dive in there. Knock Hosan back towards them. Wicked still alive. They're going to dive on towards Grom. Grom's going to die before he gets on the fountain. Now they're actually doing the damage on Shushay on the fountain. YellowPeak trying to pick him off. YellowPeak no mana whatsoever. They're just going to take down the turret there. Finally, can they get the layways? They're just picking on Shushay now. Wow, look how much damage those layways are doing. Snoopy takes a bit of fountain damage. They want to finish him off. They do finish him off. And CLG 3-0, absolute domination, 32-6. What a really strong result from CLG. And one way to say, 3-0, and we are here to win this tournament.
Yeah, so CLG now 3-0 in the group. I think the other game is actually still going on.
Yep.
We might be able to hop into that and get the very end of the game. We'll see if we're able to pull that off for us. And we can just talk about this other game really quickly. Just total domination there by CLG.
Absolutely.
Really total domination of the whole group. They're on a roll.
Yeah, and they look strong. You know what? Fair play to them. They flew from Korea, and I think they said the travel time will be like 35 hours between obviously coming here and going back to there. That's a lot of time for basically a weekend in Poland. That's a lot of travel time to come back from. So, and they've just gone 3-0 in a group for the second time in a week.
And that was a pretty hard group. I mean, they were in the group with Moscow 5, and just both good games. And the thing is, EloHell gave Moscow 5 a pretty good run.
Yeah.
And that last game was a stop.
Was very much one-sided. Yes, very strong score. I didn't actually see what the final scores were. We're going to try and jump across to the other game, which is obviously Moscow 5 versus Ocelot World, which is happening right now. So we're going to jump across there. We'll see what the situation is right now. We're going to be jumping across. So it is all good. We are going to have a 2 games back-to-back, Jat.
This
High
is
five?
awesome. All right, let's do it.
That was a weak high five.
Yeah, I didn't want it to be too
I'm not
noisy.
going to
I'm
lie.
tired. Come on, man.
But we're only 16 minutes into this game, and you can see it's 6-4. Ocelot World currently leading against Moscow 5. That's a pretty impressive result. I'm going to shuffle over so you can join me on this screen. But yeah, let's have a quick look down at what we got going on. You can see Alex Hitch there, Death by a Grasp, 4-2-0. So all the kills for Moscow 5 currently on Alex Hitch.
And yeah, this is actually an incredibly close game here. Ocelot World, 6 kills to 4. They're down in gold, but up in kills. So this looks to be a very aggressive game. Quick glance at the team comps here. It's a Twisted Fate and a Shen in the jungle. So anytime Moscow 5 wants to get aggressive here in that bottom lane, they're going to be getting jumped on by potentially a jungle Shen and a Twisted Fate. I can see actually why this game has gotten so close so far.
Yeah, so I mean, you've got Udyr in the jungle, one of your favorites there, that Diamond Prox is using, so can only assume that Lee Sin was banned out. Although saying that, he hasn't taken him every time. We have, of course, got Gosu Pepper on Sona, one of his favorites there. Darian along that top lane on Yorick. We saw Yorick earlier on. I'm trying to think what match it was. It was one that I wasn't casting. But he's been very strong on that top line. Oh, that's going to be Kennen being dived on. He's definitely going to drop down. Will it be Alex Hitch that picks it up again? He will do. That's the 5th kill for Alex Hitch. So Alex is effectively being fed. It did use... I don't think he did use a Death by Grasp.
Yeah, that's actually a 5-man dive behind the bottom lane tower there. So everyone just roaming down from the whole map. That's the 5th kill for Alex Hitch. All of their goal getting concentrated onto Ahri. It is a trade of a tower, though, so overall, that's not that big of a gain.
No, it's not big a gain at all. They are waiting for Dragon.
They're going to get a Dragon number 2,
that is due. There it is.
That'll be a slightly bigger gain. So they actually plan on sending 5 bottom in order to get a kill or at least force him to go shop, and then they take a Dragon. That's actually a really common tactic, just an aggressive play to then transition into a Dragon.
Yeah, so they've realized they are going to pick that one up. Aurelia, though, you can't leave Aurelia to keep free farming. 118 CS to 110, so slightly ahead of the Yorick at the moment. And Yorick 0-3-1. You can only assume, judging by Twisted Fate and the jungler, they've been double ganking it. I mean, it's that global gank ability that Shen can come in, Twisted Fate can come in. You can suddenly have a 4v2 situation very quickly.
So just another quick thing as we're catching up on this game. Looks like we have another one of those AD Kennons from Ocelot World. And here we go. And here we have the stun with the Twisted Fate. That is a very dead Corki.
Not even needed. Genja's just going to go down, though. It will actually be Kennen that picks it up. So 3-1-0. Bloodthirster AD Kennen again.
Yeah, so this time the harassment is actually paying off. That lane doing very well against Corki. They're taking the early game edge here. And as we can see, I just want to point out, actually, since I love the crap out of Udyr, Diamond Prox plays full tank Udyr. He doesn't go for the Wit's End, so he has the double gold per 10 items and the Aegis of the Legion, as we see a big engagement going down. Alex doesn't fall to Aurelia.
Just about survives, and then you see Gosu Pepper coming in, going aggressive. Meanwhile, they're pushing this bottom lane. This is exactly what we talked about Ocelot World in the first game. We're like, you've got a great setup, but they need to be aggressive early game. Yeah. And now the fact they've got Twisted Fate in there, which I've seen Extreme playing quite a few times, they have gone aggressive, and now they've taken it in and thrown it down as well.
Yeah, and they're really taking advantage of that global skirmish presence there. They got the gank bottom lane, and then Sona just kind of roamed up top, not thinking Ocelot World was going to push in through, but they got an extra tower out of that, so they now actually have a gold advantage over Moscow 5 20 minutes in, so really good play by them.
So, how are things going to play out? Mordant with the Oracle on Shen, which is a wise choice. Strong jungler, a lot of hit points, going to survive quite heavily.
Yeah, Moscow 5 actually doesn't have that much map control right now. They're getting their red counter jungled. The Oracles is running around on Shen. They're actually very much on the defensive right now with Ocelot World pressing.
So how would this set the group up if Moscow 5 were to lose?
Ocelot World...
And as I have mentioned before, Ocelot World have beat them twice online very recently. This is entirely possible that this could happen. 7-5 advantage. Gold is pretty much even, but 3-1 in turrets. Inner turret already down. That's a big deal.
It really is. So Moscow 5 either a little bit off of their game or Ocelot World really on their game. So looking all across, it's just... death cap on Twisted Fate, so wherever he goes, it's a huge amount of spike damage. It's kind of, are they able to shut down Ahri? I'm thinking back to the last time I saw Twisted Fate in a Moscow 5 game was actually Alex on it against Ahri. And even though Alex fell behind early, the Twisted Fate scaled a lot better than the Ahri come team fights.
And Gosu Pepper getting caught out here. He's surely going to go down. Will be better to be able to finish him off instead. Diamond Prox comes in. Good bear stance to the face on Extermin there. Genja, meanwhile, now puts himself in a dangerous position. Has to flash out. Just use the Valkyrie. You saw on the screen a moment ago. And actually, just looking at the builds-wise, Genja is a long way behind Kennen. Oh, and they're going to dive on towards Samax here. Aurelia, now he just turns it around. He's happy. He wants people around him. He's going to get stronger and stronger. He does finally get a kill down there. Alex is just about hanging on in there. Morden with the Oracle. Surely has to be the key target here. Can they go for him? The Kennen ulti finishes. Kennen does get a kill down on Yorick there. Morden, meanwhile, has managed to get away. Twisted Fate just about keeping in the background.
Man.
Used his ulti to gain vision. There's the stun on towards Jim Bones, and he's going to go down. And that actually turned very well in favor of Moscow 5. Really, that should have been an Ocelot World fight.
That was a straight up 5v5. It was a small skirmish that really just turned into a full-on brawl, and that's not exactly what Ocelot World wants. They don't like the full-on 5v5s quite yet. Just, you know, with those 2 global ultimates that they have, when they do have those full-on engagements that, you know, aren't completely, you know, numbers advantage, they do fall a little bit behind there. But overall, that fight was extremely, extremely close, and it was just a couple people getting away at about under 200 health or so. And holy crap, Lee, this is close.
This is close, and that's really helped Corki out. I was just about to suggest, you know, how far behind he is in builds. Just look what he's got.
Yeah, Bloodthirster BS sword and not even a Trinity Force.
That is a long way behind. In terms of farm, 147 to 144, but clearly those kills were pretty big deals. And either that, it's just been, I can't explain how he's so far behind there.
Yeah, it's got to be the 4 kills is just adding for the extra gold. I do worry a little bit about his build progression though. Kennen doesn't have really any real attack speed steroids. They're all about his attack damage steroid on the W. And just the fact that he's building just straight damage means he's not multiplying his damage quite as well as Corki will be able to come late game. So he really, that's kind of a lane bully build, not really a full-on team fight build. So if this game actually stretches, that 80 Kennen will start falling a little bit behind Corki.
Yeah, and in a comparison, we can see that Yorick versus Aurelia. Yorick actually went Manamune and got that phase, whereas it's gone a Wit's End in a phase. So still no Trinity Force anywhere near being completed. Possible Guardian Angels maybe starting to come out, just getting a little ahead of themselves.
They love their Guardian Angels.
But you never know what could happen. Rabadon's Death Cap on Extermin meanwhile as well. They are going to try and engage here. Darian just forcing Babetta back. Babetta actually got triple GP10 I noticed on him just before the overlay went away. So immediately you can see the supports just really stacking out those GP10s.
That means they're in it for the long haul in a lot of ways. Sometimes you want to only go 1 or 2 GP10s, then buy an Oracles or build a big item and try to advance. Or if you know the game is going to stretch or expect it to stretch, you go for triple GP10 just so you have that larger amount of gold and can build big items late in the game.
And so again, Alex Ditch using these ulti, diving onto Morden. They want
they're going to get him.
They want the Oracle down, but they're not going to get it. He's just about flashed away. The glass ball comes through, and he just holds him off. A great stun, but the crescendo across the base there. Babetta's surely going to get dropped. There goes Babetta. That's going to be Alex Ditch who picks up his 7th kill of the game. And the rest of the team did manage to get away, but they saved that important Oracle.
Yeah, that was super close, and I was just going to say, well, they caught Twisted Fate while he's bottom and got an advantageous team fight, but they really only got the 1 kill. Now that's they're either going to have to defend straight back for this tower, or they're just going to end up giving it up. Moscow 5 taking the Dragon as Twisted Fate pushes this up top, and here comes Corki. He's going to have to run away from Genja, unfortunately. He's going to teleport right out. Cheeky good play by Twisted Fate. Right to the next tower. Very
nice play from Extermin. And this is the beauty of Twisted Fate. This is why American teams learned to fear him from WCG 2010, when SK Gaming originally came on. Everybody written off Twisted Fate, and then they showed the world how to play him. The Asians now have taken it to a whole new level with Twisted Fate from by all accounts. Diamond Pro's going to get caught out. Diamond Pro with the Oracle here. Surely going to get dropped. Morden is getting revenge, and he will pick up the kill. Very nice play indeed. 10-8. This game is very open.
It's just staying close. Moscow 5 seeming to have the slight team fight advantage, and they're able to take dragons, but they're losing a lot of towers. This is actually very similar to Moscow 5's game against CLG, where I couldn't really understand why they were ahead in gold. They were down in kills, they were down in towers, but they were right close on gold. And here is the big gambit play by Ocelot World, forcing the Baron. They're a little too engaged here to be able to peel off successfully. This could be really, really dangerous if Moscow 5 chooses to engage 4v5.
It is a 4v5, and Darian has gotten straight in there. He's going to have to use his ulti, but look at the damage on Babetta there. Straight away, shredding him down. Goes to Pepper, ironically, doing a lot of damage on him as well. Samax has had the ulti put on him. It looks like Kennen will drop down there. Morden trying to save him, and now Morden might be in trouble here. Alex surely can turn his attention to him. Darian continuing to keep 3 people running away. Morden's going to get dropped. There's an Oracle down. Genja manages to pick that kill up. Genja was very late to the party there, but he does manage to come at the right time. And like you mentioned, it was a big, big gamble.
Yeah, and that was actually a 3v5. I didn't even realize. I think it was Diamond Prox was dead, and then there was one who was also really far behind, but it just York was able to duplicate himself, so it was a pseudo 4v5, and then they pretty much instantly took Tarek out of the fight with all of Alex's burst. And here we actually have another Baron Force. I don't know if they can actually peel either. TF is just trying to poke in with this, and this could be potentially an overcommit from M5. They're going to definitely go straight for this, and it's on Oslo World to try to disrupt.
Yeah, you can see Samus is going to come around there. It is about to go down. Wow.
And they get the Baron
He just got absolutely popped. Baron in the same second. And that certainly will turn things heavily in the favor of Moscow 5. So Baron now picked up. I think everybody was alive yet. Darien had respawned, so he's picked up the Baron buff as well. So now 11-11, they're going to turn things in their favor. Abyssal Scepter and potentially Guardian's Angel coming out. As soon as I see that armor now,
I'm
thinking it's, here we go, Guardian Angel.
Moscow 5 is definitely trying to bring back the Guardian Angel. All the games I've seen them recently, even come mid-late game when they want to start ending it, they just build a GA on everyone because that means the one big team fight that's going to end the game at that point, they win that because you get a huge advantage in the team fight where your Guardian Angel procs.
Yeah.
So it's really just a matter of them wanting to stack them together and then try to push that for a game-winning move. With this Baron buff, though, they're really just going to try to turn the aggression up. They've lost a lot of towers early, but now that they have the Baron, they don't need to worry about the decreased map vision of not having it, as there's actually a gank going down with Twisted Fate on it.
Yeah, Extermin's going to dive in there. Extermin actually getting into the pack a little bit too heavily. Alex H is just using his ulti to dash away there. And now they're going to continue. Darien going to dive in. Oh, just blown up by Alex H. 10th kill of the game. Alex has been involved in every single fight so far. Will finally get dropped down there, but not before they lose a couple of people around the side there. I think it's going to be a little bit too aggressive. Yorick had already died. That was his ulti finally getting the kill there. But while all this is happening, Genja is continuing to hammer away on that bottom turret. The rest of the team are going to close in enemies, so he's going to have to back away from this one. But it is not over yet.
Yeah, that was a 2, maybe a 3v5 by Moscow 5 with the Baron buff. They ended up losing Baron on 2 people, but they picked up 2 kills and a free tower. Alex Each is so strong, and you called it. Guardian Angel already built on Ari.
As soon as you see that chain miss, you think, oh, here we go. They're all coming now, but look at the gold, 12,500, 11-3-2, involved in every single kill or assist that's happened for Moscow 5 right now. What's going on over here? Oh, they've just gone for a race. So I was like, what is going on? He Valkyried across the corner. Just trying to get that red buff. That's what he was trying to do, steal the red buff away very quickly. Shen is just going to come around, but it's already gone.
So what Moscow 5 needs to do here is just, if they can force any kind of straight-up team fight, we saw they almost were able to win a 2 or 3v5 with all 5 of both teams being near the middle here. I almost expect Downprox to just run in behind them on Udyr and just kind of tank. Unfortunately, Genja's so far away, they're not confident enough to 4v5. They'd much rather 5v5. And that full tank Udyr, look at that build. Aegis, Glacial Shroud, double GP10, and you know, either a Frozen Heart or Guardian Angel probably coming in next.
Yeah, and I feel for Ocelot World here, they had that chance, and I'm not sure, you know, suddenly the Trinity Force is on Genja. Suddenly Alex has got a lot stronger. He's got the Guardian Angels. He can now dive in quite happily, comfortably, and cause them problems. Extermin, meanwhile, is very delicate. Now they're charging on towards Kennen. Just as I mentioned, the Shen ult is going to come in. They do manage to get the stun down on Alex. He's just about surviving. Guardian Angel has been popped. Are they going to stick around and finish it off? No, they're not. They will, because Twisted Fate's going to come in. Does get the yellow card down, but the rest of Moscow 5 arrive, and the crescendo comes down, and now Morden has had to flash away. Oh, the charm just about missing. Doesn't matter. Darian's going to surely slow him enough. He's going to dash through. Will he be able to get away with it? He has dashed through. Will it be a full escape?
He's just wasting time at this point, because it's really good. If they're not able to waste time, then M5 is going to push through for that middle base. Corki also managed to pick up another Guardian Angel, so it's really seemingly Moscow 5's strategy to just mass GAs and then make a push to end the game. So the fact that they've already completed 2 means they're really trying to end this quick.
I wonder if this is all stemmed from the CLG Moscow 5 at DreamHack, where they didn't have those GAs. They lost that team fight, the big important team fight, and it just quickly went away from it. I wonder if they've just built a strategy off the back of that.
It very well could be, because one of the big reasons they lost that super extended game to Moscow 5 is they had no one with enough armor or enough tankiness, and the fear of diving a tower and losing one was too great. So if everyone just builds a Guardian Angel, who cares if you lose one, because they'll be coming back and you'll still have your whole team there. And that's really just kind of their strategy at this point. I'm thinking they won't be afraid to dive a tower with a Guardian Angel holder, and they're just going to push right into OW here and just see if they can take him out.
Yeah, Ocelot World are in all sorts of trouble. Named after Ocelot, bailed them out effectively when Existence let them go, and they're going to catch on towards Babetta here. Genja with that Guardian Angel just trying to work his way through. And again,
it just changes the whole dynamic of how they play. Whoever holds the Guardian Angel decides to just jump in as soon as he wants.
That's a
you think
GA
York's
right
going for the next one?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's going to be a GA right there. He's decided to go the other route, though, with the Magic Resist to start with. I'm absolutely certain that's going to be another GA. And a GA in Yorick is a horrible thing to cast. Because he dies and he comes back and he dies and he comes back.
Yeah. Over and over again as they're just total map control actually against Ocelot World here. There was very close gold a little while ago, but with that Baron buff, they've taken so much control. They now have a 6,000 gold lead. Ari did manage to pop that GA, but really once they can mask them again, they're just going to start forcing things. The Baron will be up again, and I'm expecting actually Moscow 5 to try to make their next big play once Baron respawns.
Yeah, so there's Alex Sich, very, very strong right now. 11-3-3. And that's a dangerous thing, surely. I mean, it's good to have one of your members fed, but it's a dangerous thing to have it all on one player.
It really is. So if he makes a misplay, especially now that his Guardian Angel is down, they're going to lose a substantial amount, if not almost all of their damage very early on in the fight. So it's really on Alex to be safe and not just dive in and give himself up, because really he's a big part of their strategy right now.
Oh, they're diving on towards Diamond Procs.
Great
Crescendo across. Beautiful crescendo. That's why Sona is so strong. They are popping in seconds. Extermin's going to go down. There's the third kill now. Double kill for Genja, who I mentioned. Genja's just starting to pick up the damage. Samox had to back away with that one. For a moment there, also Will thought they caught them out. They did not realize that Gosu Pepper was ready and waiting.
So hard to catch out a tank Udyr. You just cannot burst him down fast enough for the rest of M5 to not get there and finish off the deal. They were trying to, you know, catch down onto an Ari who has triple dash or an Udyr who takes 25 seconds to kill, you know. It's just Moscow 5, strong play, strong team comp, and really showing Ocelot World that they need a little bit more experience.
They do. And I mean, even when you look at the team, you know when Zwisti plays in there, it's going to be a hard early game you're going to be up against. But if they don't completely dominate it, and you know, they did try and balance it. They've got the Shen Aurelia in there to try and balance out that late game team, but Kennen AD is always going to fall away. Yeah,
the Kennen AD was, I'm thinking it might have just been a gambit. Either Jimbo really, really loves the AD Kennen and does it well, or they're just so worried of the strength of Moscow 5's bottom lane that they kind of had to gimmick it just so they could stay in the game, which in that regard was very successful because they won that lane pretty hard. It's just as the rest of the transitioning has gone on, they couldn't deal with Ari and they couldn't deal with the front line and tanks of M5. And, you know, that does come into having a Kennen as well. Normally, it's the 80s carry job, really, to kill the front line off, and Kennen just can't quite do that with Black Cleaver Bloodthirster build.
Just can't chunk them down quick enough, and now it's looking like a possible Baron setup here. Yorick in the pit. Sets out a couple of his ghouls to find Babetta there. Pretty cheeky way of sniffing them out there.
It's a really easy way to scout around. Yorick is great with Baron control on both sides. You can check in and out of the Baron pit depending on what you want to do. You can just do that on a really low recharge. Here's Alex trying to get a big start on a fight, and this could be real bad for Ocelot World.
Yeah, Samox absolutely getting chunked down there by Alex H. Does use his ulti, but now he's got a bit too heavily involved. But there's the crescendo across him. Alex H is just surely going to go down. But Babetta, meanwhile, is going to get taken down. Jimbo also around the side. BenQ. Darian does finish him off there. Actually, that's going to be Alex H does go down as well as Yorick, but it doesn't matter. They have the damage. Extermin used his ulti to go down the bottom, just escape the damage.
Another pretty rough fight there for Ocelot World. They cannot stick with M5 in these big team fights. Alex actually getting extremely aggressive in that fight. With his Guardian Angel and his Abyssal Scepter, even though he didn't have the revive up, he could take a lot of damage. He has very high amounts of resistance. That Sona ult just crushing across, and they might be able to take down these Nexus Towers. Those are long death timers still with Ocelot World, and this could be Moscow 5 moving on to the group's semifinals.
I think this could well be GG right here. They've got Genja in there, so the damage is definitely out. Diamond Procs as well, being the target for Extermin, doesn't matter. They're just going to go for the Nexus turret. They are going to finish it, so Moscow 5 will be going through second in the group, which means Moscow 5 will face Curse Gaming, and SK will face CLG tomorrow. So some absolutely amazing semi-finals coming up for you tomorrow. And really, what a fantastic day's gaming we've had.
Yeah, that was a really, you know, actually a much more surprising group stage, despite the end result being fairly predictable. We had the CLG.eu and the Moscow 5, the ones who actually moved on. But that was a pretty rough road for Moscow 5, I got to say.
It was a very rough road. I mean, Moscow 5 have looked shaky.
Yeah.
This is the first time on land. You know, DreamHack, yeah, they absolutely stomped everyone still, and they only lost to CLG. This event, they've looked a little rough on the edges.
They've had a bit of a rough transition kind of since DreamHack. I know Alex had a lot of health problems. They missed a lot of practice time.
He was out in hospital for a month.
They've been a little shaky online as well, and that kind of innovation that they've brought to the table, even in the CLG game, they actually reverted back to the things they were doing in Kiev. So I'm wondering if their originality has kind of run out, or whether they're actually saving their stuff for the semifinals. And I think we might see some of that tomorrow.
The big thing with Moscow 5, or it always used to be, is they were very good against the American teams, and they did always struggle against the European teams.
Okay.
If you remember back at CBIT, they said they did not want Against All Authority, but in that final, because they'd lost to them a few times already. Yet they were happy to get Dignitas because they felt they could stop them, and they did. And it's the same with CLG. You know, they didn't want CLG.eu there because they've had so many problems with them. So maybe we're going to read a little bit too much into it. I don't know. And as I mentioned, that Ocelot World here have beaten them twice before online. They obviously have something in their style of play that causes some problems.
They know how to play well. Because 21-15 at the end of the day is a very close game.
Yeah.
Now, that was just, you know, I'm excited for tomorrow. I really want to see the Moscow 5 semifinal because I think that could really go anyway.
Yeah, I'm very excited for tomorrow. Obviously, Curse versus Moscow 5 is surely the big one for me. SK versus CLG. You know what? SK might throw some shocks in there. CLG, though, have just looked outstanding today.
CLG has been absolutely decimating, and they're on a total roll.
Yeah.
I can't remember the last tournament they've lost. They won DreamHack. They were 3-0 in the group stage over in Korea, and they're 3-0 in the group stage today. They've just been crushing.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to go over to Carmack with the
Serdecznie wam dziękuję. Byliście naprawdę fantastyczni i dlatego będziemy tutaj jeszcze jakiś czas rozdawać Riot Pointsy, koszulki, smycze i kody na Susa. Tak więc zostańcie. So, Joe, tomorrow we've got the playoffs, 2 semi-finals, bronze medal match and the final, so 4 matches. Best of 3 format this time. $40,000 still to be given away. These 3 checks are here to be given away. You excited for tomorrow?
I am pretty excited. I'm excited to sleep tonight and then to wake up tomorrow morning because it is going to be an absolutely awesome day. It's my birthday tomorrow, so if you want to bring presents, you are welcome. You should never say that, really. It's kind of, I said it, whatever. You can do it, really, if you want. But it's going to be epic.
It is going to be epic. So, last words for you, Joe.
Poland, good night. We'll see you all tomorrow. You've been awesome and be more awesome tomorrow. Thank you.